Chapter 3 Sir Navroji Saklatwala. The son of Jamshedji's sister, Navroji Saklatwala became the third chairman of the Tata Group after the death of his cousin Sir Dorabji Tata in 1932. He was immediately confronted with the unenviable task of consolidating the company during the global depression of the 1930s. His upbringing and his fascination with the game of cricket gave him the skills to carry the company through this difficult period in a 6-year reign that was to see Tata take great social as well as economic strides. Born in 1875 to Bapuji and Virbhai Saklatwala, Navroji, like his first cousin Dorabji, attended St. Xavier's College in Bombay. He began his working life as an apprentice in one of the Tata mills, earning a starting salary of 50 rupees a month. Navroji was a quick learner, impressing those around him with his work ethic and ability to understand the intricacies of both the cotton products being created and the economics of the industry. His keen intellect saw him promoted to lead the mills department with a few short years. Even after a long day of working in the mills, Navroji rarely turned down an invitation to play a game of cricket. In addition to keeping him fit, the game honed him in the important leadership skills of working collaboratively, maintaining morale and compromising when needed. As his professional star continued to rise within Tata, so did his reputation on the cricket field. Navroji played first-class cricket for the Parsi team of 1904-5, representing them against the Europeans. However, his workload at Tata soon prevented him from continuing to play as a team member. In 1917, Navroji was named chairman of the Bombay Mill Owners Association, sign of the trust and respect the industry had for him. 4 years later, he represented Indian employers at the International Labour Conference in Geneva. Navroji served his industry in many ways, including working as an honorary advisor on virtually any committee that asked him for counsel. His energy and devotion to his work knew no bounds. During World War I, he was associated with many committees and rendered particularly meritorious service as honorary advisor to the Munitions Board during 1919-21. Within Tata, Navroji was also seen as a valuable advisor and team member, putting his Tata colleagues and employees before himself. Although he was comfortable working behind the scenes, offering guidance and leadership, Navroji was not shy about speaking his mind. That combination of respect, leadership and flexibility brought him into Tata's inner circle and he worked alongside Dorabji. Because of that close working relationship, no one was surprised when he was approached to succeed Dorabji as chairman upon his death in 1932. A leader for the people. Navroji's leadership style was shaped by his experiences rising through the ranks of the mill workers at Tata. Always concerned for the well-being of his fellow employees, he pushed for benefits that were virtually unheard of during the early 90s, including an innovative profit-sharing program. For some time, we have been thinking about a method of associating the employees of the company more definitely with its prosperity in good times. Navroji is recorded as saying to a Tata official at the time, "We will be glad to hear that the board shares our views that we ought to show our employees our appreciation of their work when the company can afford to do so. Will you give full publicity to this profit-sharing scheme among all employees and let them know that it is the sincere wish of the company as a whole that its employees should share properly in its prosperity?" Continuing on his reforming crusade, Navroji instituted higher wages for Tata's lowest paid workers in 1937, as well as improved conditions for temporary contractors at Tata Steel. Later, he introduced a club and recreation rooms for employees at Tata headquarters in Bombay House, so that workers would have a place to relax and enjoy some fitness activities. Battling the Great Depression. Taking the helm during the worst global depression ever experienced, Navroji saw cost-cutting and consolidation as his most urgent task. Doing more with less became the mantra across the board. He focused first on Tata's core businesses, iron and steel, mills, banking and power, and then turned to aid through consolidation several Indian cement businesses which were in turmoil. Although Tata was not in the cement business, it recognized that it was nevertheless a major player in Indian growth and construction. Businessman F.V. Dinshaw had proposed a merger of the companies for the sake of their continued survival, but unfortunately he died in 1936, leaving the merger up in the air. Eager to be of assistance, Navroji stepped in to try and broker the deal. He started by trying to identify the various companies' common interests and then worked through their differences, negotiating an agreement that was acceptable to all. Thanks to his diplomacy, the business merged from Association Cement Companies, one of Navroji's proudest accomplishments. Taking care of others. While Navroji was mainly known as an advocate for Tata workers, his servant leadership extended far beyond Tata's reach. He was instrumental in proposing a cancer institute to serve all of India and directed funds from the Sir Dorabji Tata Trust, of which he was chairman, to that end. He also devoted himself to turning around the poor financial condition of the Cricket Club of India. His success led to an improved reputation and the hope of longevity for the beloved club. Navroji had actually been the first chairman of the club from its inception in 1933 until his death, and was heavily involved in the development and funding of Broadbent Stadium. A number of honors came to him in recognition of his public service. He was made Justice of the Peace in 1917 and received the Order of the Indian Empire in 1923. He was knighted in 1933 and was made a Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 1937. Navroji died suddenly of a heart attack in France in 1938, just 6 years after assuming the chairmanship. J.R.D. Tata, son of Ratanji Tata, Jamshedji's first cousin, was elected to succeed him. At 34, he was the youngest chairman of the largest industrial group in India.